What is going on, guys? Hunter here, bringing you guys a brand new video. Today, we are going to dive a little into how to play Raze. Now, this video is going to be centered around those that haven't played Raze before, or maybe have just played Raze a few times, and it's going to be really just kind of going over how to play her properly and how to use her abilities properly. So for those of you that are watching that play Raze quite often, I'm gonna throw in a tip with each ability that maybe you didn't know and that I use frequently because I do main Raze, and maybe that'll kind of give you a leg up on getting ahead of your opponents when it comes to playing Raze in your future games. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. First thing we've got is the boom bot. Now, what this does is it's a little robot that you place down, and it goes in a straight line until it hits an object, and then it will bounce, and it will follow that path as it's bouncing back and forth for, I believe, about 10 seconds before it will finally just fall apart. Now, if it does come across an enemy, it will start shining its lights and making a lot of noise, letting you know that it has found somebody, as well as letting the enemy know, like, hey, it sees you. So you can use that to your advantage. If you throw it out, comes around a corner, starts going off, there's somebody around that corner. Generally, they're going to shoot it, but it still gives you the ability to get some sort of knowledge on where the enemies are attacking from. Now, you can use it to get a kill. It does do damage. It's not a whole lot of damage, but it will do damage. So it generally will kill somebody if it can get right in their face and they don't move. So if they don't back up or they don't like jump out of the way or whatever, it generally will kill them. But when it launches, so when it gets to an enemy, it will jump up in the air, and there's about a split second where that person can react to it and get away from it so that they don't die. But if it does go off right in their face, it will kill them. Now, looking at a little more of an advanced tip with it, when you use your zoom bot, the enemy can hear the zoom bot being used. I keep calling it the zoom bot, but it's the boom bot. It says it right there. So when you place it, like I said, the enemy's going to be listening for it. So if you place it and then you immediately follow it to peek a corner, that kind of gives you an upper hand, because one of two things is going to happen. One, the enemy's going to shoot the boom bot, which you're following it, so now the enemy's attention is directed at the boom bot, which gives you the leg up. You're able to get some shots in and hopefully get the kill. Or you're going to come around the corner with the boom bot and they're going to see you. You guys are going to firefight for a little bit. If you're able to get some shots on, maybe slow them, you may die, but the boom bot will explode and hopefully get you the kill. So that's kind of the general use of the boom bot and kind of my pro tip at the end of it. Let's move on to the satchel charge. So basically what it does, you throw something, it's got a little bit of a timer, and when it goes off, it sends you in the direction from opposite of which way you were facing the satchel, if that makes sense. It's a little hard to explain. So if you're on this side, when you throw it and you reactivate the ability, it will send you backwards, and vice versa for this direction. And if you don't have to wait for that timer to go, you can reactivate it to send it off as much as you want. So it can be used to get a kill. It does do a little bit of damage. I apologize for my dog's squeaker going off in the background. He's just having so much fun. But it can be used for damage, and it can be used to break down things like Sage's walls. You can throw it up over, reactivate it. Like I said, it does do damage, but it's not a whole lot. But if you're able to get some shots down on somebody, and maybe you they run into a corridor and you kind of hang around the corner, you can throw it out, hopefully get the kill, maybe displace them a little bit. Now, for my pro tip for the satchel charge, I know it's not called the satchel charge, I just like to call it that because that's the easiest. What you can typically do is you can reactivate it twice. See how that works? So you're able to, maybe if you're trying to get to a higher location, you can satchel, and you can get some more leverage. Now, another quick tip, if you're trying to if I'm pinned down right here and there's enemies on the other side of the wall, what I can do is I can actually place it there, start running, reactivate it, and it's almost like a jet dash, if that makes sense. You can jump a little bit, and it will send you, I can't for the life of me do it right now for some reason, now that I'm trying to show you what I'm talking about, but it can be used to propel yourself. This can be really good, like I said, if you're kind of pinned down and you're trying to get away. If you're kind of further away and not right on top of it, it's going to send you distance, not height. If you're right on top of it, it's gonna send you height. Now, if you're at like an archway like this and you're pinned down, you can go up over the arch. But the problem with going up is that it's really slow movement, which makes you a bigger target. And with you being in the air, your fire spread is pretty large. So that's the only downfall to using it. Okay, so let's move on to her grenade. Now, this is pretty simple. I really don't have a pro tip for this other than zoning. So what this does, I'll get into zoning in a sec, but what this does essentially is throw it, it'll explode once, and then it'll let out a bunch of little explosives. Now this, I mean, obviously this does do a lot of damage. It does hurt your teammates. Most of Raze's kit does hurt your teammates, so that's something you need to be aware of. You can throw it a small distance if you're trying to get it around a corner or maybe over a box, and you can throw it a long distance via how you click. This is going to be something that you can really use, and I find myself using a lot for zoning. What do I mean by that? Well, if you know that there are a lot of the people, if there are a lot of enemies attacking on this doorway specifically, if you throw that out there, you may not get a kill with it, but it's going to cause them to back off. Another thing that you're able to do is if you can throw it up in the air, it'll come down and it will kind of freak them out. They'll have to run and you'll be able to listen for them and you can hear which way they ran, how many of them there are, and that will kind of give you some more information based on what's going on. But like I said, I really don't have a pro tip for this one because it is just like a typical grenade. Now, let's get to the moment that everybody's looking forward to, and it's the ultimate. And this is the reason that Raze keeps getting nerfed patch after patch, and it's because her ultimate is too damn strong. Now, when you pull out her ultimate, first things first, you do have a time limit. It's not like a jet ult. You have to pull it out and use it within the allotted time, which I believe is like 5 to 7 seconds. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but when you pull it out, again, you've got that little fuse, but then when you fire it, it will propel you backwards. That's important to kind of keep in mind, but then it does a large area of damage. Now, this is pretty simple. You can usually, if there's someone outside of a archway like this, you're going to want to shoot it at the ground, so on and so forth. If there's someone maybe up in a window, you don't have to hit the ground. You can shoot up at the wall behind in the back of that window, and that will generally do enough damage to cause the player to die. Now, what can you do when it comes to getting more kills with your ultimate? So one thing that you can do is use your zoom bot the way we had talked about, which is throw it out, have it bounce a few times, direct their attention, pull out your ultimate, satchel up, pop. Now, I mean, of course, it's going to be situational on the location you're holding down or the specific map or what's going on, but if you can combine your ultimate, boom. See what I'm saying? So you've got some sort of leverage on the enemy. You know, if you can use your ultimate and your satchel charge, don't get too close to it, pop around the corner and shoot. That gives you a speed buff that makes it harder for you to kill. And if you know that there's an enemy around that corner, you're able to get a shot off before they're able to get a shot off on you. So again, I'll explain. If there's an enemy on this side of this wall right here, you can pull out my satchel. Just like that. It propels you and allows you to get that shot to be perfect. And with it being a rocket launcher, you don't have to have pinpoint accuracy because it does AoE effect. So one more time, in case you keep missing it, pull out your rocket, satchel, get a little ahead of it, shoot. Boom. Easy enough. And with that, I promise you guys will get more kills. With all of this information, I promise that you will become a better Raze player and a better Valorant player, and you will be top fragging at the end of every game. Now, with all of this being said, I hope that you guys did enjoy the video, and I hope that you found this helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment down below. I want to see some of the crazy clips that you guys have gotten, so be sure to link those to me as well as subscribe. It really helps the channel out and lets me know that you guys enjoy these videos. But anyway, thank you so much. I hope your day is fantastic, and thank you for joining the Stone Army.